So today's a pretty big day in the mid-range gaming laptop market because Acer has just announced the Helios 300 2020. And this has been a very popular laptop because of the specs you get for its price point. Now I do have the 2020 model, it's here in the studio. I'm gonna talk about it. I'm gonna show you exactly what you're getting compared to the previous one, but I cannot talk about performance because the unit I have here is an engineering sample. Also, I purposely wore this blue shirt to match the RGB on the Helios 300. So if that's not dedication, then I don't know what is. Now this is the 2019 model, which you guys have seen before, and this is the brand new 2020 Helios 300. And yes, they look exactly alike, but there are small improvements to make it a bit different to the previous one. For one, cosmetically, they got rid of the Predator wording. It's no longer on the 2020 model, but instead what you get is a bigger Predator logo. Yes, the lines and the logo itself still light up in blue. The lid and the deck are also still made out of metal, with the bottom being plastic. Port setup, the same. Like, you get the same exact ports. However, they changed one of the things I've been asking them to change for a long time, and that's taking the power connector from the left-hand side of the 2019 model and placing it on the back with the 2020 version. This is so much better because if you're a left-handed gamer, you usually have the power cord hanging out on the side, and sometimes your mouse can get in the way. The next thing they changed is the lights. If you wanted to see like your battery light, you had to look on the left-hand side of the laptop, which is kind of annoying. With the 2020 model, all you have to do is open it up and it's placed right below the monitor. On the bottom of the laptop, they also changed some of the coloring. On the new version, you get these silver fins, and on the previous one, you had black ones instead. So it just adds another accent color to the laptop. Now, it's hard to tell on camera, but the 2020 model is bigger than the 2019 version. The base is longer, and you can tell this in two ways, by obviously putting them beside each other. But if you look at the bottom bezel of the monitor, you can tell it's thicker on the 2020 version because they had to extend it in order to match the base. They also added an intake grill on the top to allow cool air to come in. Touchpad, same feel, same accuracy, but the big thing this year is cosmetics. They got rid of that tacky blue border and just left the chrome rim. Keyboard is exactly the same, from its travel distance to the way it feels. There's no difference whatsoever, but this year, you get 4 zones of RGB lighting. On the 2019 model, you were just stuck with blue, but this year you can change any of those 4 zones to any color you want. The other big update is the ability to buy the 2020 model with a 240 Hertz display. You couldn't do this on the 2019 model. The max you could get it at was 144. Now, obviously, this is going to cost more, but with that, you get a slightly brighter display with better color gamut. Unfortunately, the speakers are still on the bottom, but they did switch their equalization partner from Waves Max Audio to DTS. So you guys let me know which one sounds better. So internally, they're quite similar, but there have been some changes on the 2020 model. For example, both fans are exactly the same on the 2020 model, probably using their new 4th generation AeroBlade technology, whereas this one, you can tell here, these are 2 different types of fans. They also moved the placement of the Wi-Fi card and NVMe drive. They stacked it more neatly. This, of course, is Wi-Fi 6. It's a killer card. And below it, you have your main NVMe drive. You still have an extra one over here that you can place a second drive, and a third spot for a 2.5-inch hard drive. Battery is the exact same size, so I'm expecting very similar battery life compared to the 2019 model. And of course, RAM is upgradable. Now, the model Acer sent out is the most expensive one. It comes with 32 gigabytes of RAM, the 240 Hertz display, the i7 10th gen Intel processor, it's 6 cores, paired with a 1 terabyte NVMe SSD. This is the first time you could buy an RTX 2070 on the 15-inch version of the Helios 300. You could do it on the 17-inch version, but never on the 15-inch version. If you want a super card, you gotta move up to the Acer Triton 500. I'd love to show you guys performance, I'd love to show you benchmarks, but I'm not allowed. But what I can do is show you a little bit of gameplay with frames per second off to show you how smooth everything is running. If you're interested in thermals and battery life and heat management, that will be out in my full review, so make sure to subscribe for that. And let me know your questions in the comments below and I'll try to squeeze them in the video. Also, tell me, how do you feel about the 2020 Helios 300? Do you think Acer did enough, or do you think there should be an AMD version? Like the video if you liked it, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys in the next video.